Day 12. Started later than usual, which ends up being a mistake. Up at 8:30, breakfast, departure at 10. First destination is Saqqara, and the first site is a private visit of the Serapeum. Egyptologists start the dating at the 19th dynasty with the excavations of the lesser vaults. Work is extended in the 26th dynasty with the greater vaults, and then again in the Ptolemaic dynasty. The chambers contain immense granite and diorite sarcophagi weighing between 50 and 100 tons, said to be from mummified apis bulls. A few were sealed, but the majority had their lids slit open. Most reports say they were all found to be empty.
This is great.
The site was discovered by Mariette in 1850, and he used explosives to clear the entrance prior to excavation. I've read articles claiming that every chamber was bricked up, and others claim blocks were piled atop the sealed boxes. It's hard to know what to believe. This is the portion which is currently accessible, and this is an older map showing more of the structure. The solid red dot is the location of a large locked door. Multiple guides say it's exponentially more expansive, and Google Earth shows it either has multiple entries or there are multiple complexes. Upon entry, we turn left and immediately see a gigantic granite lid. One end shows signs of nubs, the left either broken off or mid-removal. The other end is nubless. On to the vaults. This might be the box that goes with that lid, so was it being moved in, or someone was taking it out? This is one of the smaller boxes, and it's sitting at the beginning of a tunnel, which we weren't allowed to explore.
Very good. Okay.
This one has 2 notches on the lid.
Wow, it's kind of an awkward.
This is another angular lid with notches, as opposed to the nubs and the rounded box and the flat box and the one with the arch.
There we go. That's good. Babe, do you want a picture next to me?
Of course I want an awkward picture of me standing next to a giant stone box. Also, these steel arches are for shoring up the chambers. Apparently earthquakes and explosives at a nearby military base created fractures.
Of course, if you don't believe they had energy, then all of this is just a bull sarcophagus.
Was this one that they opened with dynamite? Okay. Yes.
Alternative theories for these boxes include tombs of giants and/or Nephilim, rejuvenation or resurrection chambers, body storage chambers a la Avatar, and the one I find most interesting, fermentation batteries. That's over 10 feet drop.
That's kind of dark, yeah.
Missing box.
Everything here has to have a purpose. This side's a little concave and that one's convex. It's just really
And
odd.
it's not that straight, it's not that.
Yeah, this is, so it's apparently interiors that are just absolutely precise.
They're all staggered. None are directly across from each other. You can see the scoop marks where they just took out little imperfections, little fissures. I think it's taller than I am. More scoops. Huge scoops. Get to go down up there.
This is the dynastic time. This is the dynastic
end.
time. Was it tried to try some kind of level? Was it tried to reuse?
This was one of the sealed boxes, so Mariette opened it with explosives. At this point I lose track of the specific locations as the majority of the boxes have this angular design. Each chamber has recesses on the side wall, and measurements have shown that it's just enough room to rotate the lids perpendicular to the bottoms. Then we have the scoop marks, which were done prior to polishing. The explanation is that cracks in the stone were excised in order to prevent further damage. Some people believe they serve a different purpose, that of tuning the box to a specific frequency. I wonder if anyone knows and has compared the resonant frequency of each individual box.
To reuse something like this.
Does this translate?
I don't know if it's coming or not.
And you wouldn't draw on a surface that's if you were one to create it, you wouldn't carve it the same. You wouldn't buy articles on this. Where it's cut. Yeah, but they didn't have the technology.
But this one is not cut. This one is
Not carpet damage,
not. No, it's not damaged actually. Something like scoop. The only thing which can make something like this, except in kind of melting, so perhaps more energy. Make something like this, but this is not cut because if it's cut, you have to find this one sharp. Look, this is not sharp. Can you touch
it's
this
smooth. It's very smooth.
And if you look good from the other side of this one, you can see more.
Something really.
I think this is the function of these pieces and this one. This one
Big scoop out of the box here. And all these shaky carvings came later. Look how shaky they are. Just breaking out the rock. This box is said to be diorite. It has the scoops as well as later damage, and as you saw, very poor quality carvings on the outside. The popular pose is that of holding up the lid, so here we are. I then took the opportunity to climb inside.
Okay, got it.
Inside of one of the boxes. There are two very popular claims about these boxes. Number one, the surfaces are perfectly flat and adjacent faces are in perfect 90-degree alignment. I found this to be false. You can search around and find some spots where a square doesn't rock and no light shines through, but overall there's a lot of variance. The corners are tight, but not bang on 90 degrees, unless cherry-picked. Hermetically tight lid to box contact is pure speculation. You can't even move the lid, so I doubt they've ever been pressure tested. I couldn't hold the square and a flashlight and a camera at the same time, So if you don't believe me, go to Egypt and find out for yourself. Don't get me wrong, they're impressive, but they aren't perfect. The so-called experts are cherry-picking and speaking half-truths.
Boxes are fucking huge. And they gotta go. Jesus. Ooh.
Number 2, solidified drips on the lid's underside proves a high-tech liquid polish was used. Shellac seems like a contender. Has a sample ever been scraped off and tested?
This is the end of one of the tunnels. It's got a square notch. Each side wall on the back wall. A shallower drop. Across from each box. Seam the notch.
The square notches are odd since they aren't matched pairs, which seems to rule out support beams. Maybe they are part of the puzzle for moving the lids, perhaps anchor points for rigging. The elevated wooden floor is modern, and more square notches can be found in some of the chambers.
Came down the side corridor. Once you're at the end, at the left is a dead end. To the right's this long hallway where the box that was just left in the tunnel resides. And I keep seeing these notches cut into the side of the walls, but they alternate. They're not across from each other.
You know what this illustrates?
Always alternating. So, I'm not sure what that's about.
Not even enough room for a humanoid design.
Were they trying to get it somewhere else and just left it, went out to lunch and never came back?
I don't know about that. You guys fans of John Anthony West?
Brian is Brian. That's what
You know what he used to call America?
what?
Dumb. This one's not smooth.
It's been cored out to the square, but it hasn't been smoothed. Still has to be smoothed, inside and out. Still rough.
I'm not sure where this box was headed, but the square wall notches seem to indicate that chambers had yet to be excavated into this corridor. Were the boxes pushed or pulled into place? I'd like to see the technique for navigating the turns. And what was the light source? There are no natural light inlets, nor was there any evidence of soot. This box shows that at least finishing work was done in situ, so we can assume a light source of some kind existed. I've read that these niches contained hieroglyph-covered tablets, yet I found no information on their current whereabouts.
Tons of niches.
It's a great path. What do you think? Do it faster to context?
Thank you.
Thank you. It's really the lamp.
Tons.
This is one of the last ones they brought in up here.
This is the rough lid that goes with the rough box. This area is full of niches. Square hole.